The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you roughly some 24 hours ago. If you are a resident of East Baton Rouge and you were impacted by Hurricane Ida, you probably are well aware by now that today is the deadline for the final pass for debris removal. The operations from only state highways are expected to be completed here in EBR by the end of the day. These reminders from DOTD asking you that you keep your hurricane debris out of the roadway and out of the line of sight for motorists. I can't tell you the number of neighborhoods that I've driven through where it almost caused an accident because folks in their haste to get rid of this debris piled stuff up, blocking the line of sight in intersections, curves in the road, things of that nature. They are also requesting, DOTD is, that if at all possible, please keep your debris out of ditches. I mean, you all know the flooding problems that have become almost incessant in East Baton Rouge in recent memory. And it kind of goes against the grain with the Department of Public Works attempting to expedite the process of cleaning out the drainage avenues in the parish, only to have residents turn right around and put their storm debris in ditches. It is something that affects more than just the homeowner, and what a shame it would be to finally make some headway in opening up the avenues of drainage only to have DPW turn right back around and repeat the process because we end up clogging up the drainage systems by using more Ida debris. Word to the wise, hopefully will be sufficient. If you drove into East Baton Rouge this morning, surprise, surprise, right? How many times have you heard yours truly say, in our city, all it takes is one idiot not paying attention, causes an accident, and the entire city shuts down. Around 5:30 this morning, yet again, individual in a passenger car cuts off an 18-wheeler on the interstate. Just so happens that 18-wheeler is carrying a load of granite countertops, which of course spills onto the roadway. And you can imagine what happens when granite hits concrete at 60, 70 miles an hour. You've got debris everywhere. And of course, once that happens on the interstate, since it is Main Street here in Baton Rouge, and if you doubt the authenticity of that, ask anybody locally, how do I get to such and such a place? Well, you get on the interstate and you get off at. That's standard MO for directions in Baton Rouge. And once that load shifted, hit the interstate, everything shut down. Fortunately, most of the surface street congestion has now been abated, and hopefully law enforcement was able to identify the knucklehead that cut off the 18-wheeler and caused morning gridlock in Baton Rouge. You know, you don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to figure out that at 60, 70 miles an hour, a vehicle weighing 80,000 pounds can't stop or take evasive action just like talking about it. But get on any interstate around and you see it regularly. People in passenger cars won't signal. They'll get one car length in front of an 18-wheeler and jump over. And, of course, you end up like you were this morning, folks stuck in traffic all across the capital city. Of course, now you add to that the fact that there's really only one way around Baton Rouge. The interstate and, of course, the two bridges that are in close proximity to one another is a recipe for disaster. This week, however, we got a little bit of good news that the process for securing the location for another bridge across the Mississippi River in our area is moving along. Now, I say moving along because if you are a longtime local like yours truly, you know we've been talking about another bridge for, I don't know what, about 40 years now. Bill just did this off camera for like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years now. We've been talking about another. Well, we found out this week that the list of potential locations for the new bridge is being whittled down. It was also announced that the process of securing the funding is pretty much taken care of, and it is estimated that we're talking a 5 to 7 year completion date once the actual construction starts. Now, I like to consider myself a glass half full guy. I mean, you know, the only other option there is the glass is half empty. I prefer to be on the side of the glass is half full. Of course, there are those out there like Marty that's like, what's a glass? You know, drink straight out the pitcher. Is that like a mason jar kind of thing? Yeah, there you go. There you go. Uncle Si, you can relate to the mason jar better than you can a glass. What I'm saying here is, and it pains me to say it, it truly does, but based on past experience, I'll believe it when I drive on it. Not until then. It is extremely poor planning that landed us in the situation that we're in. And let's just be honest about this, guys and girls. Government is probably the least efficient institution on the planet. It is what it is. And this is no knock on any particular politician, elected official, because there are some good ones. But at the end of the day, government is an institution that, if run like the private sector is run, could be so much more efficient. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I guess it only stands to reason that I-10 runs the entire length and breadth of our republic, from California all the way to Florida. And of course, Baton Rouge, coming across the Horace Wilkinson / I-10 / New Bridge, is the only place in America where that interstate narrows to a bottleneck the way it does. So it was doomed from its inception to be a problem. Now, that is what that is. But the mere fact that it has taken us this long to deal with the problem only serves to reinforce what you heard me say. Government easily is the least efficient institution, I'm tempted to say on the planet, but I'll restrict it to our country, because other countries have managed to come to grips with things like this. Of course, now, other countries don't always have the politics at play the way we do here in America. Hopefully, the process will continue unencumbered, and we will be able to say, old farts like me, we'll be able to say to our kids and our grandkids, I never thought I'd see today. There's another way to get across the river anywhere near Baton Rouge. All kidding aside, folks, we deserve better. We truly do. And with the preponderance of chemical production facilities in our area, it is a serious disservice to the people of the capital region that every single morning and every single afternoon we spend ungodly amounts of time sucking on diesel fumes, gasoline fumes, wearing out engines, tires, front ends, and the like. At the end of the day, the infrastructure is what drives the success or the failure of any given region. And it's time, y'all, that we get past this, pure and simple. So keep your fingers, keep your toes, keep your eyes crossed that the process will continue unabated. And who knows, before you know it, we'll look up and we'll have another bridge and another way to get across the river. It in all likelihood is going to cost you. Well, but like anything else in life, you pay for what you get what you pay for, and there is no such thing as a free lunch. If it is a toll bridge, which in all likelihood it probably will, so be it. I have no problem with it. If you want to use it, you pay for it. If you don't, you don't. But any vehicle that allows us to take some of these cars off the road by an alternate route will certainly lessen traffic and congestion and improve productivity in the capital region. Pure and simple. It's not that hard to figure out. First break of today's show. We'll get it done, come back and talk a little sports and some ironies involved. That's next when we continue the Clarence Bug Show here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. The news for the New Orleans Saints continues to get worse. Obviously, big blow dealt to the Saints' hopes for the remainder of the season, with Jameis Winston suffering a pretty severe injury on Sunday against the Buccaneers, tearing both his ACL and MCL. And, of course, that means he is lost for the rest of the season. Many Saints fans were hoping to see the return of a number of injured players around this time of the season, hopefully bolstering the Saints' chances for making a championship run. As you probably know, yesterday was the trade deadline, 3 p.m. And it was announced yesterday. I want to say it was Ian Rappaport that first broke the story, that Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas announcing in a tweet that he will, quote, not be able to return to the playing field this season. Quote, I've always been a man of faith, and these past few months, my faith has been truly tested. As many of you know, early last season I injured my ankle and worked extremely hard over the next few months to get back in time to finish the season. Unfortunately, the rehab didn't go as planned, and earlier this offseason, it was apparent I would need to have a procedure to repair the injury. Unfortunately, there has been another small setback, which we will have to address. To my displeasure, I will not be able to make it back in time for this season. I don't think it's a stretch to say that most Saints fans were hoping, out of the long list of injured players, more than any other, to see Michael Thomas return to the lineup. I mean, you're talking player of the year, you're talking arguably one of the most productive yardage-wise individuals on the entire team. And this obviously is a huge blow in that regard. Now, only Michael Thomas knows for certain if there are any other, quote, issues surrounding this. But I got to tell you, it does not sit well with Saints fans, and I'm talking some that are diehard, that I've spoken with since this announcement was made yesterday. The timing of it all. I mean, to tweet something out like this on the day of the trade deadline makes one wonder what else is going on behind the scenes. Now, I will be the first to admit it is entirely possible that Michael Thomas did not find out about this until the trade deadline was literally the proverbial breathing down the organization's neck. But the timing of it all has left a really bad taste in the mouths of a lot of folks that are diehard Saints fans. Again, Michael Thomas is the only one that knows in his heart of hearts if this truly all unfolded the way he did. But at the end of the day, the amount of money that this guy is earning, some would now say he's being paid because he's not earning it unless he's on the field, but that's a different show for a different day. And in addition to that, the support of Saints fans over the years, and particularly during his tenure with the team, we deserve better. Now listen, y'all, I get it. I understand. Individuals are who they are, and they do what they do. I get it. But in the final analysis, you're part of a team. You're part of an organization. And whatever individual gripes you may have with an organization, that should take a back seat to what's best for the organization. Now, listen, y'all, don't get it twisted. I understand in this country, particularly, it's the age of the individual. It's all about me. It's all about it's all about mine. I get it. I understand that. But in a city like New Orleans with a fan base like the Saints, there's something to be said about loyalty. There's something to be said about taking into consideration the support those behind you have given you all this time. Only time will tell ultimately what happens in this regard. And, you know, it's easy, it's convenient for folks like me, folks like you, that don't have to suit up, go out and play the game, to come up with all sorts of conjecture, all sorts of prognostication. I get that. But at the end of the day, It's the fans who buy the merchandise, the fans who buy the tickets, the fans who pay for parking, the fans who buy the jerseys, the caps, the t-shirts, the flags, the posters. They're the ones that pay your salary. Just a little something to think about. Another sports update. I mentioned yesterday, you've heard, I'm sure, the old saying, karma is a, and you fill in the blank. You know typically what we say. Yeah, Bill's like, got it. But for the sake of this being a family show, we'll just say karma's a son of a gun. Remember when the state of Georgia passed their voting integrity legislation, how they were demonized, they were castigated. The whole state of Georgia was called a bunch of racists, trying to deny black people the right to vote, trying to make it hard to vote, implementing racist procedures like having to have an ID to prove that you are who you say you are, even though the overwhelming majority of black people said, well, yeah, duh, you got to have an ID to vote so we know who you are, who you say you are. And of course, they tried to say, well, black people don't have access to the DMV. Black people can't get IDs. You know, all the crap that we heard from these clowns over and over and over. So Major League Baseball, the woke folks that they are, decided, you know what? We need to penalize this racist state. We're going to move the All-Star game. Now, to show you how these people think and operate, what did they do? They moved the All-Star game, number one, sucking out an estimated $100 million of revenue from black merchants. But this is how the left operates. To fix racism, we're going to be even more racist. We're going to suck $100 million out of the cash registers and pockets of black merchants to penalize racism. Not only that, they moved the All-Star game to Colorado, a place, by the way, that has even tougher voting restrictions than Georgia. Yet again, to fix a problem of racism, we're going to do something even more racist. So fast forward to last night. Who does the baseball commissioner end up having to award the World Championship trophy to? The team from the racist state of Georgia. Karma truly is a bleep. You think they'll ever learn? That's rhetorical. You don't have to answer. Marty's sitting over there going, about to get whiplash, his neck going back and forth so quick. They'll never learn. One can only hope. Speaking of, will they ever learn? Yesterday, voters in America sent a message. You remember the saying James Carville coined when he helped Bill Clinton win election? It's the economy, stupid. You remember that? We got a new one. It's socialism, stupid. And Americans are speaking up. We'll talk about that after our bottom of the hour break, right where you've got it, here on the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, one of the things that I love so very much about my dear country is how we as Americans have a history, a tendency, a penchant, if you will, for doing our best work when our backs are against the wall. You want to see the best that humanity has to offer? Back Americans into a corner and watch what happens. Every now and then, another thing that I love about my country is how we have this ability to restore our fellow Americans' faith in our belief in this country. In recent memory, the left, mainstream media, Democrats, social media, have all gone out of their way to demonize this great country. Charges of racism just flung from every corner of this grand republic, justified or unjustified. Claims of the very founding of this country being steeped in all sorts of egregious things. And of course, telling us that they, the left, are the ones that are most qualified to usher in a rebuilding of the American society. You've heard it. You've seen it. And I guess an adage that comes to mind is the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease. And of course, we've seen, the Squad and Schumer and Pelosi and mainstream media and the like screaming their lungs out over all the evils in America. I guess in hindsight, it's to be expected. Because when you have no true substance behind you, the only card you have in the deck left to play is how evil, ugly, and despicable the opposition is. Hoping you'll never take the time to figure out, well, wait a minute. You haven't given me any solutions, sound solutions, to fix the problems that you claim are so bad. Every now and then, my fellow Americans prove to me that we are in no way, shape, or form anywhere near as stupid as the left hopes we are. This morning, conventional wisdom would say, the Democrats have a rude awakening. It started in Virginia, one of the most hotly contested gubernatorial races in recent memory. You know, Gesundheit, God bless you, you know just how hotly contested it was by the mere fact that the Dems brought out all the heavy hitters they could find. Barack Obama campaigning. Joe Biden even managed to crawl out of whatever he was hiding under in the White House to go and campaign in Virginia. And of course, the mainstream media went out of their way to paint the whole gubernatorial race as a choice between progress and racism. Have you started yet watching the meltdown of the mainstream media? Oh my God, these folks are losing it. Now, it's already started. They are hammering the anvil of, well, Virginia was all about racism. It's the CRT people that made it happen. Even though these are the same folk that over and over and over again have been telling us there is no CRT. So wait a minute. Let me get this right. It was something that doesn't exist that caused Virginia voters to change. Now understand something here, y'all. The state of Virginia has arguably the largest percentage of people that work for the federal government than maybe any other state. In case you don't know, if you work for the federal government, you don't live in D.C. It's too expensive. You live primarily either in Maryland or Virginia. Virginia, in the 2020 presidential election, was won by 10 percentage points by, wait for it, Joe Biden. And here it is, 11 months and change, and the Republicans pull off a sweep. Now again, the mainstream media, particularly as it usually starts at CNN LOL and MSLSD, are going to tell you it was all about running a campaign with racist dog whistles. Interesting. Here's what they are going to very conveniently overlook, try to hide, downplay, or some combination of all the above. This same racist group of people in Virginia also, last night, elected the first African American female as lieutenant governor. And oh, by the way, did I mention Winsome Sears, the lieutenant governor-elect, is a Republican. Legal Jamaican immigrant. I'm hesitant to say former Marine, because Marines will tell you, once a Marine, always a Marine. First ever African American female lieutenant governor in Virginia. Oh, and it gets better. Not only did this racist group of people in Virginia elect the first African American female lieutenant governor, they also elected the first Latino attorney general. All three statewide elected officials, one white, one black, one brown. But the media is going to try to feed you the narrative that it's just a bunch of racists in Virginia. Meanwhile, in Minneapolis, birthplace of the defund the police movement, folks went to the polls with the opportunity to decide whether or not to eliminate the police force. Folks there said not just no, oh hell no, we're not going for that. And it was people of color that led the way, as it should be, because it's black folk there that would suffer the most if these so-called progressives were able to get this passed. Like I said, y'all, every now and then, my fellow Americans, God bless them, we send a message. And the message here, remember heading into the last break, I asked you about the phrase that James Carville, Louisianian, coined to help Bill Clinton win. It's the economy, stupid. Well, last night, the voters, in no uncertain terms, sent the libs a message. It's the socialism, stupid. We are sick and tired of this crap being forced on the Americans by the far liberal left. And yesterday, in no uncertain terms, showed it. Now, the logical progression question. Will the Democrats learn anything from this? I am not a betting man. I make no bones about it in any way, shape, or form. But I'll take odds on this. Democrats ain't going to learn a darn thing. They are who they are, and they do what they do. Because they understand having control of the bulk of the media, we don't have to learn anything. We just use the media to continue to try and BS the American people. Fortunately, thank you, God, my fellow Americans are nowhere near as stupid as Democrats hope we are. Now again, this was not a national election. But when you look at recent polls, this was a referendum on Democrats and their agenda since the inception of the Biden-Harris administration. And I think we all know what the tea leaves are saying about what lies in store in the near future. Just saying, God bless America. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, right where you got it, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Old School Barbecue is where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And in addition to great food, great service, you never know who you're going to walk into when you walk through the doors at Old School Barbecue. For example, my man just made a big entrance. Everybody's happy to see him, as we always are. None other than, I affectionately refer to him as Monsieur Gallagher. Kevin Gallagher here. He and Uncle Roy, everybody's favorite crazy uncle, Roy Fletcher, here to produce the Fletch Nation podcast, which they will do at the conclusion of this show. So if you haven't been yet, only question is, what are you waiting on? You know, if you are one of those individuals, God bless you, you settle for certain things. Food is not up to your expectation. Service, nowhere near what you feel you deserve. Well, you know, have at it. I ain't mad at you. But if you're one of those that believes, I deserve, as hard as I work for my money, to be treated right and to have great food and all have it at the same time, then 10655 Coursey Boulevard is the place you need to be. You know, I mentioned in the last segment that I love it when my fellow Americans prove me right. And say what you will, and the mainstream media is going to attempt to paint this in other terms. But the fact of the matter is, yesterday's elections were a referendum on the Biden-Harris administration and the insanity that Democrats are pushing on this country. Let me give you the results of a recent poll. And when NBC News tells you, it pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Their recent poll a week ago revealed 71% of Americans feel our country is on the wrong track. Now, when was the last time you remember just shy of 3/4 of the entire country agreeing on something? I'll give you time to think. I don't have much time left in today's show, but you won't need much time because you can't. Unless, of course, you're thinking about some other stuff that this current administration has screwed up. I would imagine close to 3/4 of our country's population understand and agree gas prices have gotten out of control. Crime is getting out of control. Inflation, out of control. Border, out of control. Afghanistan withdrawal, complete debacle. 71% of our fellow Americans say our country's on the wrong track, which is why yesterday's results restore my faith in humanity. But there's a bigger picture at stake here, y'all. If you know anything at all about me and the decades that I have spent promoting this country, encouraging you to embrace it for what it is, and more important, get involved, you've heard me use the phrase, politics in America is akin to a pendulum. It will swing to the right, in which case that will be your left because it's all reversed on TV. And when all that energy has been expended, the pendulum then swings in the opposite direction. When that energy is expended, once again, it swings back. And it goes until the energy has totally been depleted, and then it rests on that happy medium in the middle. This is why, y'all, it is incumbent upon us as Americans to put country before politics. Today, the prevailing sentiment may be residing on the left. Tomorrow, the prevailing sentiment may be residing on the right. But at the end of the day, y'all, only what is best for America is what should matter. Because understand something here, y'all. When it's best for America, it's best for all of us. Be you black, white, brown, whatever, it's best for all of us. But maybe, just maybe, that's why the left works so hard at separating us. You heard me say I had a bit of an epiphany not long ago when I came to the conclusion one of the big differences between liberals and conservatives, liberals want people like me to be black. Conservatives want people like me to be an American. Now, some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later. But that's okay, as long as at some point you get it. See, as long as you let the libs influence you and you're only black, then you need special considerations, special rules, special accommodations. And who is the one that gets to distribute all of these special things? Yep, the Dems, the libs. And in the meantime, you're still not an American. Because if you're an American, we all get the same thing. Pure and simple. Time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. Once again, however, this day, maybe more so than any since the presidential election of 2020, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. And again, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. See you tomorrow. God bless.